Hello, welcome to another episode of Talkin Rangers. Today is Tuesday, February 11th. This is episode 56 of the Talkin Rangers podcast. We thank you, as always, for joining us. Make sure to please like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. Rangers NHL has hit the Four Nations face-off break. And for the Rangers, post JT Miller trade, they are 3-2. Including winners of 3 of their last 4 going into the break. Go into the break here 27, 24, and 4 on the season, 58 points. 3 points back of Detroit with a game in hand on Ottawa, 4 points back of Ottawa for that first wild card spot. So 5th wild card right now for the Rangers, or 5th in the wild card standings, rather, for the Rangers. A lot of work to do coming out of the break, 55 games in, but they get the break. They hit the break playing better. The JT Miller trade has certainly made a big impact. So lots to discuss. Overall positive episode, I think. I think if you're a Ranger fan, the Penguins' loss was terrible, and they should have won that game. But overall, it's a positive that they've won 3 of 4 going to the break. You're seeing certainly a better hockey team since the JT Miller trade. That 3-game losing streak after they felt like they were starting to find a rhythm was certainly rough, but they've turned it around. So, Joe, what are your thoughts? How's it going?
Yeah, I mean, that the Penguins game was a little bit of a disaster, to say the least. But, I mean, not only – besides that game, just take that game out of the equation. They have won 3 out of 4. But I feel like at least the last 2 nights that – I know they played games on Monday, I think. But the last 2 nights with full slates of games – I think like every team the Rangers needed to lose lost.
Yeah,
especially on Sunday. Like I think
getting a lot of help.
Or Saturday, every team lost. Like the Bruins, Knights came back and beat them. The Islanders lost. Obviously, the Blue Jackets lost. The Senators lost. The Red Wings, literally everyone in front of them.
Yeah,
crazy. And even the Penguins were like a point, and the Canadians or a point behind them. They both lost.
Yeah.
So they needed to win that game. Like that was a must-win game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, especially coming off of that horrible loss against the Penguins, where they were out Malkin and Crosby for the first time since I believe it was November 13th, 2021 was the exact date. The last time both those two missed the game at the same time. Especially Crosby, a very long time. I think the last time he missed was the Trouba hit in the playoffs, I believe it was. They were saying.
Yeah, but I don't think he had missed like a regular season game since like 2017 or something.
Yeah, it's been very long time since he missed regular season. Last actual game was the playoffs. But yeah, that was an awful loss. And to come back second half of the back-to-back, we'll get into the Igor injury. Not that he would have played the second half of the back-to-back, but quick in net, on the road, able to get a win, able to claw back and pick up a win too, right? Because they start that game out with Kaliev scoring 1 minute, I think 56 seconds in was the exact time, but under 2 minutes. Quick start there. Rangers were providing a lot of pressure. Then you kind of get to the final 5 minutes of that period, and Columbus scores 2 in a minute. And then Mika had the goal in the second. Riemsdyk had late in the second had the goal, and then you go into the third, and we've seen this team now too start to come back. Now, they didn't come back against Pittsburgh, but we've started to see this team too come back in the third period a little bit more here, where they came back against Vegas, they came back against Boston at home, and then they came back against Columbus. All of those games, they were down 3-2 going in, Vegas, they were down 2-1, then they scored 3 straight. Rather, Boston, they were down 2-1. Against Columbus, they were down 3-2, come back, score 2 goals. They scored 3 against Vegas, 2 against Boston. So we are seeing this team too a little bit here start to come back a little bit more in some of these games, where earlier in the season, all season, complete opposite of what they were doing last year. And they can't continue to put themselves in holes where they're going into the third period down. But the fact that they're at least making comebacks a little bit more now is positive, because this is a team that so many times, and I know they against Pittsburgh really wasn't much of a fight other than when they were 6-on-4 than 6-on-5 in the third. But so many times this season, we've seen them go into the third. Even if they were down in the third, sometimes they'd let up a quick goal. That's not the case right now. This team's playing a lot better. So it's good to see. I feel like we have to start with the JT Miller impact, because it's not only is he making an impact on
Well, I don't
Just
even think we had the live stream, but we didn't have an episode
yeah,
yet, I guess, to talk about
yeah.
that.
We haven't talked. Obviously, plan this to just kind of recap everything during the Four Nations. So far he's got 4 points in 5 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. I think what's really stood out is just the forechecking for him, the physicality he provides. And I know you tweeted out the stats earlier, but Mika obviously benefiting. He's not only providing a lot, just like numbers wise, he's been able to put up some offensive production forechecking, but he's also making those around him a lot better. Like not only is he forechecking, but now you're starting to see, Mika and these guys play a lot better and start to forecheck and be a little bit more aggressive, and which is huge for this team.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think though about Mika? I know he's like starting to play better, but like, is it like just you think? Because I was talking to someone about this the other day. Like, if he could go on one of those like runs, which it's not like he's lighting up the net, but I just think his play in general is better. Like, if he goes on one of like those big runs, I think like this team's gonna make the playoffs. I think he's probably the biggest X factor. I know obviously Miller has completely changed the team, but I think if he can get going, that would be huge. I mean, I just think that it just. I mean, we've talked so much about him, and obviously most of it has been negative, but he has the 8 points in the 5 games that Miller's played in. He's a +1. I mean, people don't really care about that stat that much, but for him, it's pretty big because he's like minus like 20 something on the season. So
Yeah.
if you go 5 games and he's a plus minus positive, I feel like that's huge. I think I'd prefer to see him stay at center. Johnny Brzezinski can't play. I'm sorry, but like, like nothing bad on him. I'm sure he's a good guy and he's a good AHL player. He's a good, as they like to call him baseball, he's a good quadruple A player.
Yeah.
But I think that gives you so much depth, and that kind of just takes a position of need away if this team ends up buying the deadline, which they probably will. But then you have Miller, Zibanejad, Trocheck, Carrick down the middle, and like I said, if I have faith in Miller and Trocheck, and obviously Carrick is a great fourth line center. If Zibanejad comes and plays like a top 6 center and he's on your third line center and plays good defensively, that's huge. And if he's providing offense, that's huge too. But I think that could really add more depth in this team. We'll see what happens. I think that it's gonna be exciting, I guess, if you want to use the word exciting. Next 2 months till the playoffs, but I don't know. Zibanejad is just he's kind of an unknown just because he's been so bad that I don't really think. Do you think it's sustainable? You think he's going to continue to play good?
I mean, I think he could play well. I don't know if he'll ever go on the stretches that he used to go on.
What if he goes pre-COVID?
I mean, yeah, pre-COVID would be huge.
Everything goes in.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's the type of player he is now. I feel like, as bad negative as it might seem, I feel like those days just might be behind him. Like he hasn't done that yet pre-COVID. But look, I mean, 8 points over the last 5 games with JT Miller. You mentioned the 2 goals, had the goal against Columbus in the second.
5-5 goals too.
He's been a lot better. I mean, he's had 2 goals already this month. He had 3 in the entire month of January. He had 8 points in the entire month of January. He's already got 8 points here in February. And if it wasn't for the Four Nations,
those numbers, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 goals, 5 assists in January and 8 points. Obviously 2 and 6 here so far in February, 8 points. So,
wow.
And if this month wasn't cut short because of the 2-month or 2-week break,
listen, we're 1 month away from
Mika February.
No, we're 1 month away.
Mika March.
Mika March.
This is just like the appetizer.
Yeah, the entrees are coming out.
You do make a good point. I didn't even think of that. We are just, I mean,
listen, last year we were
kind of away from Mika March.
Listen, he took a year off. This is the Mika March we've been waiting for. But you know what's funny about Mika? Where if like not a lot of Rangers fans might think about this, but like he's done things that most players in NHL history have never done. Like 6 points in a period, like that will never be done again by a Ranger. 2 6-point games in a season. I don't even know if a Ranger's done that. Maybe like Wayne Gretzky, and then 5 goals in a game. Like when this guy's playing at his best, he's really good, but we haven't seen that in probably like a year and a half, maybe. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. He was pretty good in that season. We lost to the Devils, but
Yeah. It's been a while. I mean, last year we were all waiting for him to have that one huge month.
wait,
Never
but
really
we
had
had
it.
a signature Mika moment. Was it against the Penguins or was it against the Blue Jackets where he had the breakaway and he passed?
For what, last year?
No, this year. Like it was was it last game or the game before?
Oh,
Like, where he
yeah,
passed
the where they he
was it against
passed
the Penguins?
what was it? I forget who was trailing.
That was probably Kreider.
Yeah, it might have been.
He literally beat
Then they
he made
connected on the shorthanded.
he made a really nice move. Like he cut in.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, Mika's going to the net here, and then he dropped passes.
Yeah. The Rangers are the worst breakaway team in the NHL.
Yeah, I
They've
don't
always
know
been.
if like those numbers are available, but they probably
Because
like
who was the 1-2 the other game? Was it against Vegas?
Trocheck.
Was it Trocheck had the Trocheck and he dumped it off. Did a no look to forget who, but yeah, he had to open that. Yeah, it was terrible.
No, it was against the Hurricanes. The Trocheck one.
Trocheck one was against
Because
Carolina.
it was like off
Vegas.
of it was on like the Rangers were down 1-0, killing a penalty, and he had like a breakaway to.
Yeah, it was the shorthanded.
Yeah,
I remember that now. Didn't they get shut out that game?
yeah, they did.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the no-show after the Avalanche debacle.
And then they went into Boston and lost.
Yes, and yeah, the JT Miller trade. But yeah, no, Mika. I mean, we haven't seen that month like you mentioned since really a couple years now. He had a good season, against the Devils or the Devils season, or had some stretches.
Probably his career year, right? I think. I mean, I know he didn't score like a ton. He had like 39 goals maybe, but he had like 90 points. That's probably never going to be done again.
I mean, just looking at it, the last time this season, let's break down monthly here. He has yet to have a double digit, or never mind. He's had one. November, he had 10 points. That's it. Only 1 month so far this year where he's had double digits. None in the teens yet. I mean, you go back and look at 2022, 2023. He was 13, 14, 18 in March. Last year didn't do a whole lot. So, yeah, it's been a minute. Which is why I question kind of what his ceiling is. Is it like 10, 11 points now, or is he still capable of getting like a 16-point month?
That'd be, I don't know. That's a lot to ask for.
It's a lot, but I mean, 2 years ago, he had 18 in March, I believe.
Listen, we're expecting a Mika March.
Yeah. I mean, if February was a full month, he'd already have 8 through the first 11 days.
And we all know the vibes are back.
Games.
The vibes are back because Jimmy Vesey's back in the lineup.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, obviously, Edstrom has been great for the team, and it sucks that he got hurt. And probably, I mean, I don't think we talked about that either since he got hurt.
Yeah.
So he's probably out for the year, which sucks, but he's been awesome. But Jimmy Vesey's a vibes guy.
Yes.
Get Himmy Vesey back in the lineup.
Fishbowl Vesey.
They might go on a run. I might take Jimmy Vesey as the next 3 goal picks we have.
Jimmy Vesey, empty netter.
Jimmy Vesey. I don't know if he's going to be out there for the empty netter now because they have so many guys that play center that go out at the end. But
end of a run.
Hey, he's still here and the team's winning. But
do you think Mika like legitimately tears it apart in March? Or is this
we'll see. I mean, who knows? We could be talking all about this, and he gets hurt in the 4 Nations. I'm a little nervous about that. I didn't really think that much.
I'm curious. I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. I think the idea is great. I am a little curious how hard the guys are going to go.
I don't think they're going. I don't think they care that much.
No.
I think maybe some of like those European countries like Finland and Sweden, maybe those guys care a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the North American.
You can't tell me like even McKinnon and McDavid and like.
I think Crosby cares because I think this is the only thing that Crosby has this season where
you make a point.
Well, like guys like
this Eichel and Matthews, like
they're probably more so trying to stay healthy. Like, let's stay healthy, let's have fun. But like, I don't know. I'm not overly concerned about any big injuries, but
no,
they play 3 games, I think.
Yeah, it's the 3 opening and the
championship. And then, I guess they probably play like a consolation game, or if they don't make the championship, then they play a championship game. So it'll probably be 4 games. So they'll play 4 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could get into the 4 nations in a little bit, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I am interested. I was talking about that earlier today. Just
Hey, you know,
how
it
and
may
you make
help
a good
them.
point. I could see the European. I could see like Finland, like Urho Vakanainen, those guys. Like I could see them going pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, but then kind of going
And
back to Mika,
Crosby too. Yeah, he's not going to be in the playoffs, so
maybe
understood.
Mika, you know, can build from that though. At the same
Yeah.
time, as like he's probably like, you know, I mean,
And look, we saw
top.
Igor last year go into the All-Star break, do well in the All-Star game, and came out was
I don't know if that
playing really well.
correlates to anything, but
It doesn't. It probably doesn't. But in terms of like a
this
break,
could though, because it's actual like hockey
non-NHL
games.
games, if Mika, you know,
Hey, at least Kreider's gonna get rest, right? He'll
yeah,
probably play. They'll probably play him one game. They'll probably rotate him
yeah,
in one game.
they probably will.
If they lose the first game, they'll probably play the second game.
It'll be the JT Miller, Vincent Trocheck bottom six show.
Nah, JT Miller would play top six, I think, right?
You think?
Or,
I thought he
is
was on the third line today.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check the
Because I
lines.
think they're going with Eichel, Matthews, JT Miller, and then Trocheck.
What's the first line?
It is, I think it was Kyle Connor, and they had Kachuk.
Matty playing
Yeah,
with
and then
Eichel
Brady's on the
Matthews?
third line, and then in the second line's Gensel, Matthews, Hughes. I know that. And then the third line is, or the second line's Gensel, Matthew Hughes. Third line is Matt Boldy, I think it is.
Yeah.
JT Miller and Kachuk, and then the fourth line was Brock Nelson, Trocheck, and Larkin because Kreider was out or rotated out.
Okay.
And then the power play was Matthews, Hughes, Kachuk, Fox, Eichel, I think.
That's a disgusting power. I mean, obviously it's not the Canadian power play, but that's power play.
No, but
I wonder. I don't think Fox would have been on the power play though if Hughes didn't get hurt.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, Quinn Hughes is better. Yeah. Because I think Fox and Slavin are the top D pair. That probably wouldn't have been the case.
That's a good D pair, though.
Yeah, Fox is kind of the number two behind Hughes.
Yeah.
I think with USA is the huge advantage, or I mean, yeah.
I mean, like I think
it is probably a little bit more like
we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow. I mean, they don't play tomorrow in the United States, but we'll see how how these guys actually go.
Yeah, the huge advantage they have is Hellebuck.
If it's like more, if they're taking this, if it's like kind of like the All-Star game where they're not really like trying that much, that'd be a disaster for the NHL.
Yes, I agree.
But I think
if it's like a 6-5 game.
Listen, I think this would be cool, but I'm really excited for next year though. The Olympics, they'll definitely go hard for that.
The Olympics, they always go hard. Olympics is a lot different.
Yeah,
every country's involved. You know,
maybe not Russia.
Maybe not, but
they should let Russia play though. I mean, because that's such like I feel like that's like probably like their best team. I think Russia over Sweden.
Yeah,
they have a couple older guys, but
Artemi Panarin snub. Get him out there.
I don't even know if he's allowed to play for Russia.
Yeah, he might not even be able to. You make a point,
but we'll see what happens in that though. But like maybe like Mika takes this as an opportunity to
tear it up.
Maybe
channel his inner Sweden Henrik Lundqvist and go out there and dominate.
Yeah, he just scored like the World Junior overtime goal when he was in World Junior. So
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know.
You think I know Team USA and Canada? I think they're both plus 150. You think USA takes it all?
I think the United States wins. Yeah. I think just the Canadian team.
I just think USA's goaltending is huge.
I think their goaltending is better. Defense is better. I think their defense is better, and I think they have more like tough guys. If they do end up playing, like balls to the wall, hard as they can, I think the United States team can kind of grind them down. And they also have the skill where Marchand, he's not really grinding down player. He's tough, but like Crosby, he can play that kind of game. But I don't know. They got McDavid, Marner, soft.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
and that first line was Reinhart, McDavid, Marner, McKinnon, second line, center.
I mean, they have probably like three best players in the league, but
again, McDavid and McKinnon, your top six.
I don't know how much you really trust Aiden Hill.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Aiden Hill, or I think it's Binghamton is the other one, right?
They have him and I think Montembeault, the guy in the Canadians.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's gonna be USA, Canada, and then probably Sweden, and I think nothing against Finland, but I don't.
I mean,
unless if we have an or
Finland
Hovak.
also lost like three defense
I mean,
top three
Finland, what
defensemen.
they got some. I mean, they got what Aho. You've got Rantanen, Barkov,
Capo Caco.
Line. Yeah, they got Vakanainen,
Fucking
Nico Mikko. I believe he's on the team too. Nico
yeah,
Mikkola.
yeah.
Right, so a couple former Ranger. Their goaltending though, they got Saros and what Lankinen, I think.
Yeah, I think
So
Lincoln.
U.S. That's why I think the clear advantage is just over
Yeah.
these other over Sweden, Finland, and Canada is just hellebuck. I mean,
Plus,
another
Olmark
Vezina
and
season
Markstrom
for
are
him.
out too, so the Swedish
Yeah,
team doesn't have, I don't even know who their goalie is.
yeah. Let me see. Let's pull it up. Sweden goalie, because I don't know that right off the top of the dome.
I don't even know who it is.
Gustafsson
Oh, yeah, he's not bad.
and
Gustafson.
Olmark. Well, Olmark, yeah,
I thought
no.
Olmark was injured. Okay.
He might be. I just pulled it up. Where do they have Mika today? Mika second line.
Second line center. Is Mika on the power play? Probably, right?
Mika, yes. It's Mika, Eriksson
Nylander.
Ek, Lucas Raymond, Hedman, and then Nylander.
Not bad.
Yeah. So they got Mika. Pedersen is first center. Eriksson Ek second center. Lindholm fourth center or third. Eriksson Ek third center. Lindholm fourth center.
Which one? Elias Lindholm, right? Yeah, I think he's the
Yeah.
center. Is Hampus Lindholm on the team, or is he hurt?
I don't think he is.
He must be hurt.
Got Carlson, Hedman, Forsling. Buffalo Sabre, Rasmus Dahlin on the D. So, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for Four Nations. It's nice to have, hopefully it's competitive hockey over the break.
Yeah.
Somewhat competitive. You know, they don't got to go 100% game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, but I'd rather them not because don't want injuries.
They probably should have done this at the end of the year. I don't know why they didn't in the middle of the year.
They probably should have. But then again, though, it's both because at the end of the year, who's going to want to do it? Especially the team that goes all the way.
Yeah, I guess you like.
Unless if they just
McDavid
don't
went to
play.
the finals, he probably like, I don't want to play. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Although, I mean, what? Jason Tatum did play for the Olympic team and he went to the finals in July. So, you know.
Well, I mean, he didn't play though. Right?
No, he didn't play. But
He's
he
not
was
on the
there.
bench.
Yeah. Him and Halliburton were bench buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if they would have played in July, maybe. But they chose now. So no All-Star game, Four Nations. Cautiously optimistic that it's going to be good hockey. USA Thursday. So see how that plays out. But yeah, back to the Rangers. I guess injury-wise, you know, we talked a lot about JT Miller and just the team as a whole. I guess injury-wise, right, Igor goes down, air quotes. Edstrom's tough, but the fourth line has proven that they could continue to play well. You know, Carrick's been excellent for that fourth line. Rempe's getting some opportunities. He's providing a little bit of, I mean, he can't finish to save his life, but he's getting some net front chances.
I've been happy with Rempe.
Yeah.
I think he's done.
And I think too, Rempe, just his play style, you could tell he's not going after guys' heads right now. Like, not that he was doing that previously, but you could tell he's focusing a little bit more on playing hockey, trying to provide, you know, a little bit of offense, trying to be a well-rounded player as opposed to just fighting and only bringing physicality. You know, Edstrom will miss 2.5 to 3.5 months, which is a long time. That's a good chunk of time. You think he returns this season?
2.5. What does that put you at? Like beginning of May?
Yeah.
Or maybe end of April? End of April?
Beginning. Yeah, like mid-April. Yeah, it's like April. So
maybe
it'd be playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be close. Depends how the team looks at that point. If they're even in the playoffs. I guess I'd say probably not.
Yeah, I think it's one if they're, of course, in the playoffs, and two, I think it's the fourth line continues to play well without him. I don't really see them rushing him back for any reason, you know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think the biggest thing is We got to see if they're in the playoffs first. That's one of the biggest things.
I don't know. You think we're gonna make it?
Yeah, I do.
3 points out right now,
Yeah,
right?
I do. I think so. I mean, Columbus, we talked about earlier, they're going to start to fall off. Detroit's just red hot right now. I think they've kind of survived or weathered the Detroit. Like the fact that Detroit's been red hot and they're still only 3 points up on us isn't, I think is fine. It's like, okay. It's not like
Well, I mean,
Detroit's gone
the
on
thing is
this.
though, if the Rangers go on a streak like that, they'll be not going to see locked in, but they're going to be well into the playoffs if
Yeah.
they won like 7 in a row.
Yeah. The thing is, I think like the Rangers, some of these other teams, right? Detroit was below the Rangers before this stretch. I think the Rangers at this point, if they go on that hot stretch, they're going to be a lot higher than these other teams who are going on these hot stretches. I mean, heck, even the Islanders.
Who knows? Maybe they catch the Devils.
Yeah. I mean, the Devils are going to be, unless they play the Rangers, Devils might get bounced.
I honestly don't want to catch the Devils, so we're getting I'm getting way
to play
ahead.
them, or
I'm
you
getting
don't?
way ahead of myself here, because it's still a long time. But I think if we get the second wild card, that'd be perfect. Get Washington in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to play the Devils either.
Let me ask you this: last game of the season.
I don't want to play the Devils first round.
Well, they're not gonna play the Devils in the first round. There's no chance. That's a 0% chance. Devils are not catching Capitals, and the Rangers won't pass the Hurricanes. So that's 0% chance. I'm saying we can catch them and pass them. But listen, last game of the season, we're in the playoffs already, right? If we lose, we get the Capitals. If we win, we get the Panthers. You think there's anything? Like, I'm just thinking, but you think there's a little bit of them, like, hey, like if we lose here, or you think they'll just go out and play it normally?
It's a good question.
Well, I mean, if they win, then they play the Panthers, and then the winner of again way ahead, but they play probably the winner of the Lightning or the Maple Leafs, and then if you lose, you play the Capitals, and then the winner of the Hurricanes Devils.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think either way, you're in the playoffs.
I don't know if we could beat the Panthers. I don't know.
No, they probably won't. They could beat the Capitals.
Yeah.
I mean, what you think they'd throw like quick out? Not even quick. Bring up Louis Domingue.
Domingue gets a shutout. We still win.
Domingue gets it's the spicy pork and broccoli.
I think that's way too ahead of ourselves, but
it is ahead. But it's fun to look. We got no games to talk about right now, so we can.
Dude, it just flips for me. Like, I'm like, no, this team sucks. They're not even going to come close, and then they win. The team's going to make the playoff.
And we were talking about that to start, or maybe even off air. They haven't won 3 straight games in forever, so this is literally the definition of like back and forth. They win 2 in a row, they'll win 4 or 5, they'll win 3 or 4, but they won't win 3 in a row. They haven't gone on that huge tear.
They have been consistently winning like 2 out of 3. Like if you look at since like January, if everything totals up, they probably have gotten 4 out of 6.
Yeah, I mean they're only really since January, their worst stretch was that 3-game losing streak. Their only multi-loss games in a row was that 3-game stretch against Colorado, Carolina, in the first game of JT Miller in Boston. Yeah, other than that, it was 2 of 3.
They should have gotten a point in that game. So the Avalanche game, that was a little disastrous.
Yeah, and Carolina they didn't show up, and Boston, the defense was horrible.
Yeah.
Lindgren's, I mean, we can talk about him. That's the one. I mean, the fact that Lindgren is still playing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought Zach Jones was pretty solid those 2 games too. I think that maybe let him play
significantly more interest and effort from Zach Jones than what Lindgren showed. Lindgren looks like an old man that does not want to be out there.
Yeah, and he's been taking dumb penalties too.
Yeah. Oh, the penalties have been horrific, and he was getting eaten alive by Pastrnak in that game. Yeah, hat trick. 3 of 4. They've been winning consistently at They still need that. They still need that like 5-6 game win streak to just go on a tear.
I mean, they got.
You even look at the teams ahead of them, right? Detroit, they got hot. They're 3 points ahead. Boston's kind of evening out a little bit. Like they were hot, now they're kind of cooling off. Columbus is falling off, and even Ottawa, they've lost 3 in a row going into the break. So
really, wow, 3 in a row.
So
I know that
they're 4 points back of Ottawa with a game in hand. That's what I'm saying. Like the Rangers are set up now where they come out of the break if they go on a tear, they can really give
Well,
themselves not only get in, but give themselves breathing room.
to finish February, I tweeted out they got at Buffalo, have to win that
Should
game.
win.
At the Islanders have a lot of injuries. They should win that game.
Yeah.
Then they play at Pittsburgh. They have to. They cannot lose.
They should
Pittsburgh
win.
is not good.
And the Buffalo Pittsburgh's back to back. So you do have that come right out of the break on the road back to back, but you should win those games no matter what.
And then they finish the last day. I think the last day of the month at home against Toronto. And they play Toronto well usually, especially Igor.
Yeah, they should win at least 3 or 4. Maybe they lose to Toronto, okay, but they should beat Buffalo. Should beat Pittsburgh. They should beat the Islanders, and they should beat Toronto.
They got to get.
Let's say they lose to Toronto 3-1.
6 to 8 points, I think.
Yeah,
well, 8 points would be amazing. Obviously, you sweep it, but like I think they got to get 6 points.
Yeah, and then after that, you'll have Nashville. Should win. Can't lose to Nashville again.
I know they play Nashville next. That's is that the last game for the deadline?
No, because back to back. Then they have the Islanders, Capitals. I think deadline's the 7th, so they'll have.
So they have 3 games in March before the deadline.
Right. Yeah, then they'll have the day after the deadline. They play Ottawa. So a lot of back to backs, man. Jeez, they got back to back come out of the break. Then they Sunday, Monday, Nashville, Islanders.
I love it how I would just like to be every other day. That'd be awesome.
Then Saturday, Sunday, Ottawa, Columbus. Then the next week it's Sunday, Monday, 15, 16, Columbus, Edmonton. These back-to-backs are ridiculous. But yeah, then they get Nashville, Islanders, Capitals. I was going to say All-Star break. Jeez. Trade deadline. So should beat Nashville. Islanders at home, you should beat them. All 3 games are at home. Like, go beat the Capitals. Maybe you lose to the Capitals, but then you get Ottawa, Columbus, 2 big games.
Yeah.
Got to win those. So it's all still right there for them. Like, there's realistically beat Buffalo, beat Pittsburgh, beat the Islanders. Okay, let's say you lose to Toronto and the Capitals. You should still realistically be able to come out of the break and go 5-2 right out of the break.
What would be the second loss?
Be the Capitals.
Oh, you're saying, including those 3 games after the February.
Yeah, 3 games after. Including just February, you should go at least 3-1.
So we have 7 games to the deadline.
Yeah, 7 games to the deadline.
If they go 0-7, do they sell?
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, they go 0-7. Jeez. I mean, no, that's not happening. We won't even put that. We're not even going to put that into the air.
I mean, it's already out there, I guess.
I guess it is. No taking it back now. But yeah, I mean, they got through this stretch against these teams that they needed to beat relatively well. They beat Columbus, beat Boston. They beat Ottawa, beat Philly. Going back, beat Columbus earlier as well.
Ottawa and Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the 11-1 stretch. And then that was when Colorado came in and you had Drury, Rantanen, Pesci, the guys that were in those trades would all get points in those 2 games. So they were the kings of letting the new guys put up points. But yeah.
Are you like I know we kind of went over just a little bit, what are your expectations for I guess Miller rest of the way? Do you expect him to be a point of game player?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'd be because you even see the last 3 games he hasn't put up points. It was kind of 4 in the first 2, but I just think his ability to forecheck, his physicality, I think he's provided a nice kind of energy boost to this locker room. You always see him, Meek, and all those guys. They're all been communicating a lot, which I think is a really positive sign. Yeah. He clearly wants to, figure things out and really build chemistry. He's living with Trocheck right now. Cooking up steak dinners. So yeah, but I think he can be around a point. I don't know if he'll be a point, probably just under a point of game player, but I think some of his greatest impacts, I think, are going to be the non-stat stuff, in my opinion, which is what we've seen so far.
Like stuff that he's doing without the puck.
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. You think he's point per game? Or?
Probably. I think he will be. I just, dude, I feel like we haven't talked about Panarin at all this year. And he's just having underrated, under the radar season. Not under the rated because I think he's been bad, not great. I mean, doesn't forecheck. it's a little frustrating when you see
Yeah,
him
he is who he is.
turns the puck over going across the ice. It's frustrating, but I mean, I think there's just going to be a stretch of games where he kind of clicks in and has like 10 points in like a week, something like that. I think he's just going to have a huge week, and you'll see Miller get a bunch of
Yeah.
points on that if he's playing with Miller still.
Yeah, I could see it. I could certainly see a point per game. I just feel like with Miller on the ice, things just seem so much more like you're not seeing the dumb turnovers. You're not seeing like there's just so much more
I mean,
speed.
the power play's got to be better though. I mean, we
Yeah,
haven't
the power
talked about
play.
the power
Yeah,
play is
and
garbage.
hopefully that can kind of the power play has been a problem all year. Hopefully it can get better. I don't know. I don't know if Mika's the best guy to still have on the power play, but
I don't know. Kreider's been terrible too. I mean, he's
Ryder's
been
been
horrible.
terrible. There's probably a lot of dead weight on that power play. You know, do you want to give Trocheck or like Laugh a chance on the power play at some point?
I feel like I don't know.
Maybe, but
You know what that I really noticed was like Kreider just seems like a lot of times he doesn't like. I don't know if he's not trying. I'm not gonna say that, but like he's kind of like soft. Doesn't really forecheck at all.
no,
Doesn't seem like he's really moving out there. But then like we all see he can still do it. Like the goalie scored against the Bruins on
yeah,
that short. Like he came out of. I don't think I've ever seen a player go that fast before. Like he has it in him. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to keep moving. Like he's such a big dude. He's so fast.
he gets fast and aggressive on the shorthanded
When he sees
breakaways with
Mika, when he
Mika.
sees Mika,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Only when he's with
Maybe
Mika.
on the bench, just gonna hey, like this shift, it's just gonna be you and Mika out there,
5-on-2.
5-on-2. Don't even worry about the other three guys on your team. They're not
Don't
out
need him.
there. But he hasn't. I feel like he hasn't scored power play goals anymore. That's like a problem too. Granted, nobody is, but when's the last time we've seen a patent Chris Kreider tip?
It's been a while. And the tip-ins haven't been there all year. Part of that too is just like he's just been like such a non-factor. It feels like he's not even in front of the net. But there's been a lot of times too, and this happens all the time with the Rangers, just not getting pucks on net.
No.
But
yeah,
the tip-ins haven't been there. That's when you know it's bad, when they're not getting those tip-ins.
Especially him.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
I feel like Laugh, same thing, has kind of disappeared.
Cooley's been better.
I feel like there's just gotta be a stretch where
they got to tear it up.
Yeah, where like offensively they just explode.
I shouldn't say Cooley's been better. I should say I hope that Columbus game gets him going.
It's nice that he's not playing.
I believe prior to that Columbus game, he did not have a point in February. So
that's because he's playing with Mika.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Another episode next week.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. We could probably recap anything that happens in the Four Nations tournament.
Four Nations, and then preview second half here. And
should we wait till the Four Nations tournament's over, or should like?
Yeah, well, we'll do like mid next week. Four Nations ends what, next Thursday? Is it?
I have no idea actually.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Either way, episode next week. Four Nations ends, Four Nation doesn't. We'll have an episode. We'll talk Four Nations, and then we'll kind of really preview second half. Anything else that
more so yeah, I feel like we have like we can say what's going to happen as far as our thoughts on the second half, and then
maybe any other trade deadline stuff.
We could do like a trade deadline video or something like that,
and maybe kind of break down too. Like I'll probably dive in. I could dive in this week, just numbers wise, like what the Rangers probably need to do with their final 27 games. I know Valquette said they need to go 20-9.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe more than that. I don't know. I was gonna say 22.
22-5, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, 22-5. They can kind of crunch it and break it down, figure it out where they are right now. They need to 4 points back.
Well, what's
Ottawa 3 points?
Wait, so you said 27, so 2 out of 3 they need to win?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just about. Get to 22. Get to the playoffs. Hopefully. And we'll wait to do goal picks as well. Just in case. Got to see how the Four Nations pans
Yeah,
out.
I mean, like, what if Mika is like on fire?
Can't go 3 picks.
Hey,
All
we're
Four
tied.
Nations guys, and then we are.
You're on a legacy
JT
run.
Miller has saved me just like he saved the Rangers.
You're on a legacy run here. And you did have Kreider, actually. I went back. You did have Kreider against the Bruins.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you had Edstrom, or no, not Edstrom. It was Hedel. I was like, oh, you got to change that, and you did, and that helped you out because you had.
I knew I had Kreider.
You're welcome for that. You owe me Mike for that, though.
I told you. I said I had Kreider. And you're like, no, you had Hedel.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take the free JT Miller.
I know, yeah, you had Hedel in the other game, but hey, you're welcome for that point. But we're tied now.
Vancouver fans too. Filipito's playing pretty well, so see how Vancouver feels. Vancouver fans.
Hopefully a win-win.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we will talk to you guys next week. Enjoy Four Nations. Hopefully no injuries. Hopefully competent. Hopefully good hockey, but no injuries at the same time. So take that as you will, I guess. And we will catch you next week. Let's go Rangers.